Today, we're going to talk about the best diets for cancer. Yes, diets with an S, because there's more than one. If you've ever been diagnosed with cancer or known someone who has, you've probably asked the question, what should I eat? And too often, doctors simply say, eat whatever you want, which to me is completely wrong. What you eat can either feed cancer or help starve it. I'm not here to sell you any products, supplements, or miracle cures. This is not about business. It's about knowledge and awareness. Always check with your doctor before making any changes to your treatment or diet, but I want to share what I've learned from research and experience. First, it's important to understand what cancer actually is. Cancer isn't just one single disease, it's very heterogeneous, meaning it takes many different forms. The word hetero means different, and genius means origin or kind. Cancer develops when normal cells get damaged, especially in their mitochondria, which are the powerhouses of the cells. When those mitochondria stop working properly, the cells switch to a backup survival mode, and that's how cancer begins. The key to fighting it is to look for its weak points, because cancer cells are fragile in many ways, even though they seem aggressive. They love to live in areas where there's low oxygen and chronic inflammation, and they constantly try to evade your immune system. That's why increasing oxygen in your body through exercise or therapies like hyperbaric oxygen can help. Cancer doesn't like oxygen-rich environments. Your immune system also plays a huge role. It has the natural ability to detect and destroy cancer cells, but chemo and radiation, while helpful in killing tumors, can also weaken that system. That's why strengthening immunity is crucial. Vitamin D is a major part of that equation because it supports immune function. But here's something interesting. Cancer cells actually block vitamin D receptors to protect themselves. So keeping your vitamin D levels higher than average, around 90 to 100 nanograms per milliliter, and getting sunlight regularly. Most cancers feed mainly on glucose, which is sugar, and glutamine, which is an amino acid. Those two are the main fuels. But some cancers can also use lipids, fats, branched-chain amino acids, and in advanced stages, even ketones. That's right, some aggressive cancers can adapt and survive on ketones, which is why a single diet doesn't work for everyone. Cancer is incredibly adaptable. If you starve it of one fuel, it can learn to use another. So the smartest approach is what's called a rotational diet, rotating your food strategy so cancer cells can't adjust. For example, you might follow an anti-glucose diet, which is essentially a ketogenic plan for 10 to 14 days. That deprives the cancer of sugar. Then you switch to an anti-glutamine diet, mostly plant-based and low in protein, for about 4 to 5 days to cut off its next fuel source. Then you rotate back again. This back and forth keeps the cancer cells confused, weak, and starving. The rotation pattern can change depending on the cancer type. For example, with melanoma, you might start with 5 to 7 days of the anti-glucose phase and then 7 to 10 days of anti-glutamine. For prostate cancer, which can live on fats, you'd start with a short anti-glucose phase, then move into a low-fat diet that still includes healthy omega-3 fats, because those actually fight cancer. For liver cancer, you'd alternate between anti-glucose and anti-branched-chain amino acid diets, which rely heavily on plant foods. The goal isn't to starve yourself, it's to starve the cancer. Along with this, intermittent fasting is incredibly powerful. Eating 1 or 2 meals a day gives your body time to repair itself through a process called autophagy, which helps recycle damaged cells. Fasting reduces the fuel available to cancer cells but allows your healthy cells to grow stronger. In more advanced cases, prolonged fasting can be even more powerful. There are people with stage 4 cancer who have fasted for an entire month and seen remarkable improvement. You might wonder, if fasting creates ketones, won't that feed the cancer? Interestingly, the ketones produced during fasting don't seem to support cancer growth. They're used by healthy cells differently. The point is, fasting helps your body clean itself, repair damage, and make life harder for cancer cells. Now, there are other important lifestyle factors to include too. Exercise regularly to bring oxygen into your body, get sunlight to boost vitamin D, and manage stress because chronic stress suppresses your immune response. You can also consider supplements that block glucose or glutamine metabolism, but only after talking with your doctor. And remember, variety and unpredictability are key. If you do the same thing every week, cancer might adapt. So maybe 1 week you fast for 48 hours, then 2 weeks later you do 72 hours, then maybe a 5-day fast. Keep it varied. The more unpredictable your pattern, the harder it is for cancer to survive. I know this might feel overwhelming. Cancer is scary, and there's so much conflicting advice out there. But here's the truth: your body is powerful. It's designed to heal when given the right conditions. By understanding how cancer feeds, by changing your diet strategically, and by supporting your immune system with fasting, sunlight, and oxygen, you give yourself the best possible chance to fight it naturally alongside your medical treatment. I'm not saying this replaces chemotherapy or radiation. Those decisions are between you and your doctor. But adding these strategies can strengthen your body's ability to fight back. So, if you don't have cancer, the best way to prevent it is by following a healthy ketogenic diet, practicing intermittent fasting, and keeping inflammation low. And if you're already facing cancer, focus on rotation, fasting, and immune strength. Keep your vitamin D high, get outside, breathe deeply, move your body, and trust the process. You have more control over your health than you might think. Cancer is relentless, but so is the human body when it's supported the right way.